plain English about the planes.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Adi Alemi, and before I introduce myself properly, I want you to watch a tiny little video. So it works.
Okay, guys, the cue for the demolition is when I lower my hand like this, okay?
Yes, sir.
Look, guys, we got one shot at this. Let's get it right.
Okay.
Okay, candidates.
All right, stand by.
Some of you might have seen it, but
You.
I'll see to it you never make another movie again.
Did that include television, sir?
Kill him out! Kill him! What? The whole damn thing? Well, how the hell can a thing like that happen? What's his name? B-A-K-S-H-I. I'll see to it he never works again in this town.
Your wife called about the guest list for the party.
Yeah, on the desk, on the desk. You know where to reach me.
so let's fast forward to this guy who just being invited to this party which he doesn't belong to, and he's like absolutely the wrong guy, and he makes a mess. Makes sense.
Would you mind getting close?
This is 469-6151.
So, basically that's the story of how I ended up here. I applied for some fundings and I called Brenda, and Brenda introduced me to Wendy, and before I knew it, I was one of the speakers. And so I'm the guy who just basically demolished the set, and I was supposed to not coming back in television or film. My name is Adi Alemi, and I am a digital alchemist. So I grew up with the evolution of digital technology, basically. I started to play games when Pong came out, which is 2 lines and just 1 bar. So I've been growing up with how the games have evolved and how digital technology has evolved. Yesterday, when Mr. Forbes was talking, it reminded me of my father. I think I was about 20 years old when I showed my father how to edit. My father is a university lecturer who's been teaching cinema for like 4 decades. And he's been doing it with films. And I showed him how I can just cut videos in just 1 computer. And how he described that feeling in one of his speeches later was that he felt raped by technology, because everything that he has been done, like to learn and do everything, the massive machineries, everything, just being shrunk into 1 tiny little laptop that we can just cut and edit everything. So for people who are sticking to 1 type of technology, it's inevitable that it's going to fail at some point. The technology is evolving so fast and so rapidly, and unfortunately for my generation and generations coming after me, it's getting faster and faster. It's like that runaway train. When I started graphic design in the early 90s, and before I finished my graphic design degree, the web design came to picture. So I was interested in web design, but there was no course in the university to study because I was already in the middle of graphic design. Then after that, I started to do web design, and then interactive design came to picture. Flash, and I was like, wow, this is way cooler than those stupid, like, just click and do things. I can add animation to it. And then I was introduced to computer animation, and I was just mind blown. And so I went to London and studied computer animation. As a part of it, I had to do some interactive design as well. And back then it was Macromedia Flash, not even Adobe Flash. Adobe didn't buy any of that. By the way, I started using Adobe since Photoshop version 2, so you can imagine like how it was. I just grew up with it, really. And what happened was the stuff that I did back in 2003, which for me, the history is being divided into two eras, before 2000 and after 2000. Well, when I came to New Zealand, I started to teach, and as I was teaching to one of my classes, I was referring to this movie, Leon, and all the kids were like looking at me, what? Leon the Professional, you know, the French movie by Luc Besson. They were like, no. Jean Reno, no. Natalie Portman. Oh yeah, we know Natalie Portman from Star Wars. And I just put it on this big screen on IMDb, and one of the kids were like, when this movie was born, I was -2. And I just realized that, oh my God, I'm actually getting old without knowing that I'm getting old so fast. So these technologies and these things are actually getting obsolete very, very fast. I'm just going to show you, if I put PC, I should go back to this computer. All right. So just going to reload this. This is my personal webpage. When I came to New Zealand, I have realized that, okay, me being from Iran, all my work are in Persian, and as soon as I show it to people and like Persian fonts just pops up, they go like, oh, have you done anything in English? No, I haven't. Okay, they're not going to look at your work. So I thought, okay, I need to make something in English. And I made this website with Flash, which is obsolete now. I cannot use this website. I wanted to make it work properly, but make it look interesting, make it look colorful, even like make the audience to be engaged with the thing, you know, like not just the button sitting there. You have to actually follow this button to be able to go on it, to which one you want to go. And so this is an example. I tried to make it not like just sit there and wait, you know, like the page is interacting with you. If you just wait, I'm starting to look around and do things. So it's just as the page is staying there. But like as I said, it's the technology. I did this website back in 2010, and this is obsolete. So what we need to do, and this is what makes me very, very afraid about all these technologies that we're going to talk about. Sorry. Let's go back to another screen. How many of you have done an interactive presentation, interactive program, or anything that interacts with the audience before? All right. In my case, what I wanted to do, I'm from Iran, so usually as soon as I introduced myself, especially when I went to London to study, it was right after 9/11, so I was about to go to New York University and study, get my master's, and then like 9/11 happened right the same year, and they just said, ah, you don't want to be here. And I said, yep, that's true. So I went to London instead, and every time they were asking me like, oh, where are you from? I'm from Iran. Oh, so don't worry, I don't have the, blow up dead man button in my hand. So it was kind of like that, and I kind of felt like I need to tell my story. I need to talk to these people and say, listen, I might be from Middle East, but I'm not the enemy. I'm just like you. I'm just like everybody else. And then I came to New Zealand, and people were like asking me, what's your favorite sport? And I was just saying ski. And one of the first reactions I got was like, on sand? I was like, no, the city I'm from is actually quite cold. It goes 12 degrees in winter, and like, we have mountains. So I realized that there is this story in me that I want to tell people. I want to say like, hey, listen, when you see war in Middle East, it's actually not being done by those people. Every single bullet that comes out of somebody's gun on top of a hill, like one of those rockets, it's being paid by somebody else, and they want their money back with interest. So the source is somewhere else, and there are like lots of documentaries out there about it, but nobody sees them. So I thought, okay, I need to tell that story. But when I'm starting to talk to people, like for example in New Zealand, I'm referring to some stuff which people are not familiar with. So here comes the interactive documentary, very handy, because I'm talking about Iran. Who knows where Iran is? Okay. And who knows where the capital of Iran is? A few of you. All right. So for example, what you might want to do is like when I'm talking about it, and let's say like there's something is happening. Who watched the movie The Big Short? All right, in Big Short, they felt like, okay, we need to explain some stuff to the audience. So that every now and then they stopped it and they explained those things. What if we don't stop it? What if we give them the option to choose whether they want to see those extra reference material or not? It's like reading a book. So we're reading a book and we come to reference points and we refer to the references at the bottom of the page and say like, okay, this thing that they're talking about is actually this. But for a person who already knows what that thing is, it's going to be boring, so they can just skip it. And that's where I found that in our field, one of the most important things that we can use, one of the best weapons that we can use in our system is taggable videos. So we put a video there and then we can just give them options. People don't want to read. You go to websites and people just put like lots and lots of text there. Unless you're like 100% excited about what they're about to say, when you go there, when normal people come to a website, they don't want to read like all those stuff. They just want to go bullet points, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and click on one of them, go to the place that they want to be. So to avoid that, I watched a lot of interactive documentaries out there, and some of them are very, very slow in that sense. Many years ago, an author told me that if you open up a book and read the first 10 pages of that book, if it stays with you, if it made you interested, that's your book. If it's not, then don't try to push yourself to read that book because it's not yours. And that's what we want to do. We want to take them like right there and then. Here's an example of a website. There are like websites that you can go to and you can use their services to do interactive documentaries online. Okay, cool. So there is a way to do interactive. One is to stop the video while it's happening. So in this specific video, which is pretty much taken out of what Google used to have, or what Google is useful for, and now it's still there. So like, for example, I just come back to Google, I want to show you, to YouTube, I want to show you something. In YouTube, what you can do, for example, is you can add cards up here. So when you have a card, you can just click on it, and you can add polls. So your audience can interact with, like, you can ask them questions and they can just add stuff. Or you can just link them to other videos. But it's not that much interactive. It's just there, and then you have to just find it. Another one is you can just add like boxes like